up, team? Back with another one. All right, so today's topic is leadership, right? For us men, how important is that word? How important is it, right? Like, our life is based whether or not we take the lead, we take the chances, we lead our teams. Our entire life is based on that. We're the breadwinners. It's in our biology to go out and get the bacon, so to speak. Right? We are not hunters and gatherers anymore, but we are leaders, man. And we have to be. So, my day job is that of a leader, right? I'm in a leadership role. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, simply because I want to protect my job. Right? But that's what I do on my day-to-day life. So I have a lot of experience in leadership. And a lot of times we're great leaders in the workplace, and we are great leaders in different arenas such as hobbies and sports, and we're leaders in different realms. And a lot of us are poor leaders in certain aspects of our lives, such as dating or relationship building, whatever you want to categorize it as. But leadership is vital, it's important. And if you don't take leadership, you are playing a submissive role in your life, right? You're catering to the whims of everybody else. You're catering to society's needs, and you are not in control of the wheel. In order to command respect, you have to be able to show solid leadership. And that's why I wanted to talk about that today. There are no bad teams, there are only bad leaders. And I got that from a book. It's called Extreme Ownership, where I'm currently reading that right now. And, it's about Navy SEALs and how Navy SEALs go about their training, how they go about, coordinating their day-to-day lives, how they plan, organize, and execute their missions. And look, when we're talking about Navy SEALs, we're talking about life and death situations, right? And that's why that book intrigues me, and I'm diving into it. Forgive me because I have a short attention span, just like everybody else in today's society. So, it's taken me a little bit of time to get through this book. But the more and more I read through the pages, is the more and more I'm intrigued to keep on flipping the page and going forward. So, I just read about an example they gave in the book. And you're welcome to go pick it up. You know what? Let me show you exactly what this book looks like. Ooh, excuse me. All right. So you're welcome to go pick up the book. I highly recommend it. As somebody that's advocating for men and how to be a good man and how to be a good father, a good brother, a good friend, that's what I'm advocating for. That's what the tone and the tune of my channel is all about. How we can be better men in society, because I feel like we don't have enough of that. And if I can provide, any kind of guidance, of course I'm not the oldest, I'm not the youngest either, but I think if we can share our thoughts and ideas about, what's successful, what makes people successful, we can have a better place. We can have a better place in society. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, but we do need masculinity. Okay, let me not veer away from the topic, right? So leadership. In order for you to have solid teams, and that could be whether or not you identify as leader amongst your peer group, which is your friends, you need somebody that's always going to be able to keep the team on track. You're always going to need somebody to set the tone, to plan, execute, and make sure everyone is delivering performance at a high level. And as it relates to dating, Remember, women find that attractive, fellas. You know, if you are not leading and she's leading, she does not find that attractive. You know, the qualities that you show doesn't mean that you have to be rude or abrasive. You know, we all have different leadership styles. You know, some people are assertive, some people are very boisterous, and some people lead by example. You know, I'm one of those people who like to lead by example, but I myself am learning different ways, because people are changing and society is changing, and what worked a long time ago, you know, probably won't work today. You know, but there's always a need for solid leaders. There's always a need for leadership. You know, one of the things I like is be able to communicate with impact, being able to have difficult conversations with people, being able to have crucial conversations. That's what they call it. In my line of work, they call it crucial conversations. Being able to give timely feedback to people, even when it hurts their feelings. You can't imagine how many feelings get hurt because leaders fail to communicate crucial conversation. You have no idea how many people in a long-term relationship get hurt because they fail to communicate. And fellas, we have to take that role. You know, if something's bothering you, you know, you cannot communicate passively, because it becomes passive-aggressive communication, and you don't want to do that. You know, you never want to have passive-aggressive communication when you're dealing with another individual, because what it does is it shows that you have no strength, right? It shows that you have no strength because you're communicating your displeasure with something through passive-aggressive behavior. And trust me, it seeps out, such as slamming stuff or silent treatments, things of that nature. And you're trying to have somebody kind of like read your mind. Like, you should know why I'm mad. You should know why I feel this way. Like, how could you do that to me? They don't know. You have to communicate. So, you know, there are different books I can recommend, but like I said, I'm digging into this book. But some of the things that have helped me throughout my life, as far as my occupation is concerned, and you know, I kind of relate that to my real life. You know, number one is communication. Big one. Learn how to communicate. Remember, communication is not just verbal. 80% of communication is nonverbal. So being someone who can take control of their nonverbal communication will show solid leadership. You know, another big one is being able to say what you mean and mean what you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You know, it's not about just letting people do stuff. Remember, people don't do stuff just to do it. They do stuff because you tolerate it. You know, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. So if people constantly can say stuff that irritates you and you let it slide and you think, you know, I'm going to show them some passive aggressive behavior and maybe it'll go away. It ain't going to go away. It ain't going to go away. If you tolerate people's disrespect, if you tolerate poor behavior, if you tolerate your girlfriend going out late at night even though it annoys you, or you know, it's only going to continue to get worse, right? So what I would recommend is that you dig into leadership books. You dig into books that help you grow and give you a new perspective on how solid leaders. Growing up, I've always gravitated towards sports because I like the dynamics of teams, because every individual is important. There's not an individual that's insignificant on a team. The punter is just as important as the quarterback. In certain situations, it's probably more important, you know? When you're down on your own goal line, you know, and you got to get that ball up out of there. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about, right? If that punt gets blocked, your team can potentially lose the game. You know, your team can potentially lose the game. So that's why I gravitate towards teams. But, you know, I say this to tell you how leadership is important in today's society, right? All the leaders of all the major companies The reason why their roles are so important is because they are paving the way for the next generation. They're paving the way for the next generation, and you have to be able to listen. That's another thing of leadership, is actively listen, understand, help your team grow. Remember, your job is to push performance, higher standards. If your standards are low, you can't expect your team to perform high. You set the tone. All right, this video is getting a little too long, but I definitely wanted to let y'all know that, work on your leadership skill, man. Work on asserting yourself. Work on taking on responsibility. Work on always taking ownership of your team failing. If things are not going well and you are the leader, you are the one to blame. You need to take ownership of that. You are the one to blame. If your relationship is going south and you are the man in that relationship, you need to understand that you have to take ownership of that. You either have to fix it or that relationship is going to end. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.